Hello! Have you ever find English grammar so hard that you want to quit? You are lucky, because in this video, we are going to talk about one of the most important grammar structure in English, non-clauses. Non-clauses are extremely useful because they allow us to express ideas, information, thoughts, opinions, feelings, and questions in a complete way. By the end of this video, you'll understand what non-clause are, how they function in sentence, how to use them in real life communication, and how to avoid most common mistakes students make. So, let's get started. So, what is a noun clause? A noun clause is a dependent clause that functions as a noun. Because it behaves like a noun, it can appear in different positions inside a sentence. A noun clause usually begins with that, what, who, whom, whose, which, where, and, why, how, or whether. Every each of them contains information. Even though a noun clause looks like a sentence, it cannot stand alone. It depends on the rest of the sentence for complete meaning. Now let's take a deeper look at the three major functions of noun clauses. Understanding these roles will help you identify noun clauses easily in any sentence. A noun clauses can appear at the beginning of a sentence and act as the subject. This happens when the main topic or idea of the sentence is an entire clauses. For examples, what you said was really helpful. How people react depends on the situation. Notice something important here. When the noun clause is long, native speakers often replace it with a dummy subject it and move to the clause to the end. This makes the sentence sound smoother. For example, it is surprising that he passed the test. Now, noun clauses as the object is the most common role because it functions as the object of a verb. For examples, she didn't understand what he meant. I can remember where I put my phone. But noun clauses can also be the object of prepositions, not only verbs. For example, they argued about why the plan failed. And finally, a complement gives extra information about the subject or identifies it. Here, the noun clauses is needed to complete the meaning of the sentence. For examples, the problem is that the system isn't working. My biggest fear is that I might disappoint people. Notice the structure. Subject plus linking verb, it usually be, plus noun clause. This pattern is important in formal and academic speaking. Noun clauses appear everywhere in daily communication. In everyday conversation, noun clauses help us express uncertainty, thoughts, and explanations. For examples, I don't know why he didn't reply. Tell me what happened. I'm not sure when she's coming. These structures make conversations clearer because they give specific information. In the workplace, noun clauses help you sound professional, polite, and precise. For examples, we need to confirm whether the client agrees. The report explains why the sales dropped. Let me know who will attend the meeting. These noun clauses help present data, decisions, and explanations. In academic writing, noun clauses are used to express arguments, research findings, and interpretations. For example, the study reveals how social media influence behavior. Researchers disagree on whether the theory is valid. This is why mastering noun clauses is essential for essays, presentations, and research paper. And noun clauses also appear in captions, comments, and online discussions. For example, I don't understand what she meant in her post. People are confused about why the trend started. These help you express directions and opinions clearly. Now, let's take a deeper look at the most common mistakes students make when using noun clauses. I will explain why they happen, why they are wrong, and how to fix them, so you can avoid them completely. The first error is when using question word order inside noun clauses. This is the number one mistake. Students often copy the structure of a question directly into a noun clause. But remember, a noun clause is not a question, even if it starts with a question word. So, if you say, I don't know where is she, these sentences are wrong because they use inverted word order, which belongs only to questions. In noun clauses, we must use statement order, which is subject plus verb or not verb and subject. So, the correct one is I don't know where she is. Remember, always check. if your clause is not actually a question, the verb must come after the subject. The second error is when forgetting the word that where it is needed. That is sometimes optional, especially in casual conversation, but many learners remove it even when the sentence becomes unclear or grammatically weak without it. So, if you say, I believe he is honest, even though these are understandable, this is wrong because they sound informal or confusing in academic and professional contexts. So instead, we use I believe that he is honest. We use that to make the connection between the main clause and the noun clause clear. So, if you want your English to sound polished and precise, don't remove it too often. The third error is when wrong pronoun choice inside noun clauses. Another common mistake is choosing the wrong pronoun because learners try to follow question grammar instead of normal sentence grammar. So, if you say, do you know who is him? These are wrong because him cannot be used after linking verbs like is or are. So instead, we use do you know who he is? So remember, inside a noun clause, pronouns follow formal noun or pronoun rules, not question rules. Here's what we learned. A noun clause is a dependent clause that functions as a noun. It can be subject, an object, or a complement. It usually begins with words like that, what, who, how, why, or whether. Inside a noun clause, use statement words order, not a question word order. Noun clauses are essential in real communication, whether in conversation, work environments, or academic writing. And that wraps up our lesson on noun clauses. Remember, learn the rules, practice the patterns, and your English improves automatically. That's all from me, and see you next time.